So we all know Kubernetes is basically the engine for modern apps, right? But here's the thing. As you start to scale, that amazing power can, well, it can turn into total chaos. Let's get into it and see how we can actually tame that beast. So, does this sound familiar to you? You're trying to juggle clusters on different clouds, debugging services that are all tangled up, and the alerts, oh man, they just never stop. Look, if that's you, you are definitely not alone. This is the daily grind for so many engineering teams out there. And all that complexity, it has a very, very real price tag. I mean, get this. Studies are showing that the average organization is overspending on their Kubernetes resources by a staggering 30 to 40%. Just think about that. That's money that should be going into new features, into innovation, but instead it's pretty much just vanishing into thin air. And it really is a vicious cycle, isn't it? The costs spiral out of control, which creates pressure. The endless alerts just lead to total fatigue. You've got these security blind spots that, keep you up at night. Teams are burning hours just debugging. And what's the end result? Burned out engineers. There's got to be a better way to do this.
And that brings us to the solution. See, the future of handling all this complexity, it's not about working harder. No way. It's about working smarter. It's about putting intelligence and automation right at the core of what you do.
And that's exactly where a tool like K8inspector comes into play. I mean, their whole mission is right there in the name. Kubernetes Intelligence Automated. It's an AI-powered platform that's built from the ground up to give you total visibility, help you run smarter operations, and even automatically fix problems for you. This really shows the huge shift in thinking we're talking about here. The goal is to go from being reactive, always putting out fires, to being proactive. Instead of a mess of complex, silo tools, you get one unified, visible platform. You move from just costly to actually being optimized. And best of all, you go from all that manual work to powerful automation.
So, how does the platform like this actually pull it off? Well, it all starts with pillar number 1, total visibility. See everything, everywhere. Because let's be honest, you can't fix what you can't see.
What K8inspector promises here is a true single pane of glass. It doesn't matter if your clusters are on AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud, they all show up in one place. And this means you can finally stop all that context switching, jumping between different cloud consoles all day. You get a full resource browser for everything, pods, deployments, you name it, and even this really cool interactive service map so you can see exactly how everything is connected.
And that visibility goes deep. I mean, this is for the real hands-on engineers. It has a whole suite of network diagnostic tools built right in. So if you need to ping a host, debug some DNS with Dig, or even run a TCP dump to do some deep packet analysis, it's all right there in the UI. This shows it's not just some high-level dashboard, it's a serious toolkit.
Okay, so once you can see everything, what's next? Let's move on to the second pillar. This is where the AI really starts to shine, helping you predict, protect, and perfect your entire setup.
So at its core, K8inspector isn't just running one generic AI model. It actually has 9 distinct AI services. For instance, you've got predictive analytics that can forecast something like a memory leak and warn you before your pod crashes. Or there's root cause analysis, which will sift through thousands of events to tell you exactly why an incident happened. This is all about turning a mountain of data into intelligence you can actually use.
And that intelligence carries right over into security. Of course, the platform is constantly scanning for the usual suspects, things like crypto miners or reverse shells. But check this out. This is what I think is really unique. It has a forward-looking quantum readiness assessment. Yeah, it actually analyzes your current encryption to see if it's tough enough to handle future attacks from quantum computers. So you're not just securing for today, you're preparing for tomorrow.
All of this brainpower gets channeled through something they call the AI DevOps agent. The best way to think about it is like having this tireless, super smart site reliability engineer on your team working 24/7. It's constantly observing, learning, and then, based on the rules you set, it can actually take action for you. And here's the crucial part. You are always in complete control of how autonomous it is. You can start it off in a monitor mode where it just watches and learns. Then maybe you step it up to notify and suggest. It can even simulate a fix to show you exactly what will happen before it does anything. And then, only when you're totally comfortable, you can flip the switch to autofix and get that true hands-off autonomous operation. All right, finally, let's circle all the way back to that scary 30–40% overspend we talked about at the beginning. Pillar 3 is all about mastering your cloud spend and basically turning all that waste back into usable budget.
And the results they're seeing are pretty significant. We're talking about startups saving around 25%, mid-market companies hitting that 30% mark, and big enterprises, they often see savings of 35% or even more on their Kubernetes cloud bill.
So how do they do it? Well, the AI gives you these concrete, actionable recommendations. It'll pinpoint over-provisioned pods that you can right-size. It'll find workloads that are perfect for those way cheaper spot instances. It spots idle resources, in your non-prod environments that can be shut down overnight or on weekends. These aren't just wild guesses. This is all data-driven optimization. So when you put it all together, that total visibility, the AI-driven automation, and intelligent cost control, you can really fundamentally change the way you do operations.
And the business impact they're reporting is, well, it's both quantifiable and pretty dramatic. We're talking an 80% drop in mean time to resolution, a 70% reduction in those painful on-call alerts, a 10x boost in team productivity because your engineers are finally building new things, not just firefighting. And of course, there's that 35% cost reduction we keep talking about.
And you can see that impact reflected in what users are saying. This quote from a VP of engineering just says it all, right? The AI DevOps agent paid for itself in the first month. Our on-call incidents dropped by 60%, and our team finally has time for strategic work. I mean, that's the dream. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. We started this whole conversation talking about Kubernetes chaos, but what if all that complexity could just be managed for you? What if your Kubernetes could, for the most part, finally run itself? That's the future K8inspector is trying to build.